The upcoming ESL R1 Sim Racing Virtual Motorsport Championship is like a best-of compilation playlist from your favourite band. It combines some of the greatest sim racing teams and drivers with some of the biggest first-person shooter and competitive strategy game outfits, shuffling them together with historic racing venues, plus one of the most popular racing categories in the world, GT3. On paper, this could shake up racing esports forever. Here's why. First up, Rennsport, or Rennsport if you pronounce it properly. Despite sounding like a Porsche tuning specialist, Rennsport is an all-new sim racing platform from the nascent competition company GmbH. The new startup is headed by CEO Maurice Hebecker, who has formerly worked at Codemasters, and it aims to be a big player in serious virtual racing. While they are continually developed, Race Room is 10 years old this year, R Factor 2 9 years old, and iRacing 15. Rennsport, on the other hand, is -1 at this stage. To put it simply, it's been too long since a ground-up take at a track-based PC driving sim has been launched, and even more fascinatingly, this one isn't even scheduled for public release until the end of this year. So, we'll get to witness its evolution, and even if there are any issues in the early rounds of ESL R1, it's all just growing pains, ultimately improving the product for you, the avid sim racer. Here's what Maurice had to say when we spoke to him earlier in the year.
We are in a developing process, and I would never say that there will not be maybe an issue with our technical things. So we are in a process, and that's always risky. We feel quite confident. We are testing the multiplayer since last year, really a long time. To be honest, there are problems, but that's development. We are working on it, and there are some really new technical ideas we bring in.
Before we continue, we'd like to know your thoughts about ESL R1 and Rennsport in the comments below. Are you looking forward to it? For existing driving game fans, a new platform is something to pontificate about on social media and demand specific cars and tracks for on forums. But what if you don't give a flying monkey about racing esports? Well, we think that's where ESL R1 is mostly targeted at. You're young, you're into gaming, and so far, sim racing has been an elitist walled garden that sometimes seems a little intimidating. The opening round of the spring season will be held in Poland at the IEM Expo Katowice, part of the ESL Pro Tour. This is a popular and established Counter-Strike Global Offensive tournament held inside a stadium with a live audience watching the world's best first-person shooter players. It's also streamed online to a passionate audience, with the teams and competitors building online personas. ESL R1 is there, and it's this audience that will be exposed to sim racing, potentially for the very first time.
ESG, we have great events over the whole world. One of the reasons why we do this cooperation, because we have that coverage, and we also have the element of connecting publishers with the audience. So doing this in Katowice at the IEM over there, where there's maybe 100,000 people coming, was a great opportunity for ESL R1 to be exposed, for Rennsport as a game to be there, and to also have a great audience.
If you're sitting there wondering what ESL is, it's the esports organisational body for this championship. Known for competitions that use CSGO, Dota 2 and StarCraft 2 among others, it has a massive following. Its main Twitter account, for example, has over 850,000 followers, its Facebook page over 2.5 million likes. Any retweet or post about ESL R1 will potentially unlock a new racing esports audience. We already have existing virtual racing competitions that aim to replicate the professionalism of real-world motorsport. There are massive online community races, and now there's a racing series to appeal to gamers. Each, in my opinion, can coexist and funnel more people into the sim racing scene. Speaking of which, while established sim racing stalwarts such as Williams Esports, BS Plus Competition and Coanda Esports will be on the grid, so will Mouse, FaZe Clan, Furia and Heroic. If you're only into motorsport, these could be new names for you, but if you're into the gaming esports scene, they'll probably be more familiar. Conversely, there's a chance you're watching this video as a fan of CSGO tournaments, and you're asking if BS stands for bullshit. It doesn't. It's Buresud Plus. Sorry about the pronunciation, Florian, but that's a story for another time. Of the 12 teams for the first spring season that runs from February to May, the full calendar, entry list and where to watch are linked in this video description by the way, 8 of them have existing racing esports squads, and 4 are general gaming esports teams. For the uninitiated, here's a rapid fire rundown of each team. Furia is a Brazilian team, mainly CSGO experts, but also competes in Apex Legends and Rocket League amongst others. FaZe Clan is so big it's publicly listed on Nasdaq. Heroic won the CSGO Blast Premier Fall Finals in November, and Mouse is a German team that's entering its 21st year. So we're all caught up? It's a bit like having a tournament with a mix of Premier League soccer teams and NFL giants. Liverpool versus the 49ers, head to head at hockey. Except The gaming teams such as FaZe Clan and Heroic are expected to hire some of the most garlanded sim racers around. At the time of producing this video, several expected announcements weren't public, but TraxionGG understands that prior Le Mans Virtual Series round winners, iRacing experts and Assetto Corsa Competizione champions will be on the grid, and with the new to racing outfits. Mouse, for example, has recruited 3-time ADAC GT Masters esports champion Moritz Lerner, Le Mans Virtual Series round winner Yuri Kasdorp, iRacing Porsche Esports Super Cup race winner Patrick Holtzman, and the first driver ever to hit an iRating of over 11,000, Maximilian Benecke. Of course, being a new platform for every driver, that presents a tremendous opportunity for up-and-coming talent to take on established reputations. Trying to balance grizzled sim racing aficionados' interests but also soak up new fans, the format is a mix of old and new. The BMW, Porsche, Mercedes-AMG and Audi GT3 cars are tried and tested, even if the game isn't. A formula seen on every current virtual platform, the vehicles offer little in the way of newness, but they are at least relatable and pave the way for manufacturer-backed teams, which all but Audi has committed to so far. If the cars are a little beige, the format definitely won't be. With 48 drivers split into groups, a short qualifying session will decide the grid order for 20-minute races without pit stops. Only the top 6, based purely on finishing position, will go through to the quarter-finals, then the semi-finals and of course the final. TraxionGG has seen this in action at the inaugural Rennsport Summit in May 2022, and even partaken in a test competition. It was fraught, as the threat of being knocked out almost immediately led to some elbows-out racing and chaotic rounds. Let's just say, we don't think there will be a dull race, but we also wouldn't want to be the stewards. Now, how do you incentivize some of the most renowned sim racing drivers to take part on an unproven platform? €500,000, of course. There will be 2 seasons of ESL R1 in 2023, the aforementioned spring season, but then also an autumn season starting in August and ending in November, this time at the DreamHack Winter Jönköping event in Sweden. Following some clarification, it's not €500,000 for each season, but rather that's the total prize pool across both seasons, and a breakdown of how that's distributed is yet to be publicly revealed. What is clear, however, is that after 8 rounds, the 24 top-ranked drivers will advance to an ESL R1 major, where one ESL R1 champion will be determined. TraxionGG will be on site in February for the first 2 rounds in person, and then covering every round throughout the year. Each round will be live streamed on the ESL R1 Twitch, TikTok and YouTube feeds. Will you be watching what could be the most pivotal championship for the future of racing esports? Let us know. If you want to keep on top of all of the latest Rennsport and ESL news, be sure to check out the TraxionGG website on a regular basis, and why don't you subscribe to the TraxionGG YouTube channel where you'll find all of the latest video content. That's it from me today, so until I see you next time, thank you so much for watching, keep it pinned, and we'll see you at round 1.